mean, you do, but we're live right now. So
Nice. Classic.
if you would like to go grab them, feel free.
No, we're live, man. We're doing this. We're in. What's up, Jeff? So,
I feel like I'm going crazy.
welcome to Snakes and Stogies, everyone. Episode 55. Justin has an amazing intro that we're having some technical difficulties in launching. Why don't you just launch it now?
I mean, I guess I could. All right, I don't know if it's as loud as it is in my headphones, but
It was not that loud on my monitor.
okay.
No.
All right, it's like blowing out my eardrums. So
That was a badass video. Though.
I like it.
yeah, I'm gonna make some changes to it.
What's up, Brad? What's up, Steve? So, tonight, we're joined by Brandon from the frosty white north.
Yep.
Herpeticulture
Salutations,
podcast
Brandon.
from the brothers up in the snowy hills.
Snowy hills of Calgary, Alberta.
Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Fucking love it up there.
Everyone got their samplers, it seems like. Everyone seems to be enjoying them.
Nice. Glad to hear it. Brandon, what is the temperature up by you right now?
It was pretty warm today. It was like 11 degrees or something. So, like, for the middle of December, it was super warm. Yeah, it feels like 10 degrees right now. So,
Global warming.
Yeah, right?
So I'm smoking a Cane F straight Lajero, but this is a Lancero. So I figured before we kind of jump into snake stuff, I'd talk about A, Lanceros, and B, Lajero tobacco.
Do it.
So Lanceros, a lot of people see these in shops and they think that they're a complete ripoff. If you want a cigar with the most flavor, Lanceros are the way to go, and it's because you have a thing called filler to wrapper ratio. So a solid 80+% of a cigar's flavor is going to come from this outside leaf that you see. And so when you shrink it down into a thinner ring gauge, you're getting more of that wrapper and less of the filler and binder inside, which are typically not super high quality tobaccos or anything like that. They have a certain flavor profile. They blend it. It makes it work. So
It's just filler.
when you get into thinner gauges like this, you're getting so much more flavor, and don't sleep on this. I mean, oh, there's Billy.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah.
And then talk about. So you'll see Lajero on a lot of cigar labels, be it LFD Lajeros, double Lajeros. So that is actually a part of the tobacco plant that leaf comes from. Bring it up. So you can see here on this little graph. Plop, 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 plop. So this is the tobacco plant. So you've got Volado, Seco, Viso, Lajero. And then I think there's even usually one above this, which is the Media Tiempo. And so the Lajeros, this leaf from the very top of the plant, these are usually smaller leaves, but they're usually thicker. So they get the most sun exposure. So typically most Connecticut's too. They'll be from the lower part of the plant where they're a little thinner, but they're bigger. And then Lajero, if you're looking for like strong cigars, if it's got Lajero in it, it's usually a pretty potent tobacco. So
Can you click
and it
the
says
picture?
right here,
What were you going to say?
huh?
No,
It talks about it right here. Cigar makers use it to add power to a blend. Usually put Lajero in the very center of the filler because it burns slowly.
Nice. I was going to say also, if you could click that picture on the top left that has the different colors of the leaves, in terms of the height on the plant. A lot of people overlook that too.
People can't even. I'm sitting here thinking I'm looking at a completely different page. It's not even screen sharing that. Yeah. So I'm sitting here circling shit, and Jesus Christ. So yeah, Ligero, because it's got a lower combustion rate, goes in the middle a lot of the time too. This is a straight Ligero, so I'm just assuming that it's all Ligero. What would be called a puro. So this kind of shows you what part of the plant goes where. It depends. If you see Ligero on a label, it's usually going to be pretty strong. So.
And I will say, just because the leaves are lighter or the wrap is lighter, doesn't necessarily mean that it is indicative of that part of the plant. I've had some stuff that was Maduro and super light looking, I guess it has to do with sun exposure, how they dried it or whatever.
Yeah. So typically, like with your Connecticut's and stuff, those are lighter because of the way they're grown. You'll see a lot of Connecticut shade wrappers come from Ecuador because that country gets cloud cover like something crazy, like 90% of the year. And so that cloud cover makes those plants grow a lot smaller. The leaves are a lot thinner. It's just a more delicate leaf. If they're not grown in Ecuador, Jesus. They're typically grown under like a cheesecloth, so they don't get full sun exposure. So when you see sun grown, they put that on the label and on the box a lot, and it usually means they are going to be stronger. But sun grown is kind of a general term because if it's not a Connecticut, it's pretty much going to be sun grown. But Connecticut's, you'll see some of them. I mean, I will say they are kind of a lighter smoke, but they're also oddly enough kind of a more peppery smoke. Typically, you'll see a lot of Connecticut's kind of have a lot of pepper to them, like black pepper, white pepper, and then your Maduros, which basically means that leaf has been aged and fermented longer. That's why it has that super dark wrapper. You'll see the same thing if you see Olor on a label. If you see Oscuro on a label. It's more or less a different version of Maduros. So, yeah, I mean, there's a whole rabbit hole you can go down. But the general rule is just because, like, the darker the cigar, typically the stronger. That's not a hard and fast rule. It is kind of a general rule. And then just because one seems lighter doesn't necessarily mean it will be lighter. I think those Herrera Esteliz that everyone got in the samplers are kind of a good example of that because they, at first glance, they might look a little light. I consider those to be kind of more of a medium to full, if not on the fuller side. So that's kind of a good one. That's the example I usually show customers where I'm like, yeah, it could look light, but it isn't. And then Bill asked, is this the expected knowledge level in your industry, or have you chosen to nerd out on it? A little bit of both. You kind of have to know these things. It's kind of like, I compare it a lot to, the industry is very much like wine, and I feel like if you're going to work at a cigar shop, you almost have to have sort of a sommelier sort of mentality about it, where you have to know the product, you have to know what people are buying.
Well, the good ones, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I've been to plenty of cigar shops where the guy had no idea what he was talking to.
And how frustrating was that?
Incredibly.
I mean, I guess if you smoke and you know what you're looking for.
Sure.
One thing, but.
And I'm not just talking about you go in and you say, hey, I'm looking for, a Liga Privada number 9,
right.
You could say, hey man, where's your Drew Estate stuff? And the guy says, I don't think we carry that. Meanwhile, there's a whole wall of, undercrown and whatever else. And that guy didn't know, or maybe he's new, who knows? Maybe he's just not into it as much as we are. I mean,
or you say, I'm looking for a certain size. I'm looking for a, Lancero, a Corona, and if it's someone who's in cigars for any amount of time, they'll figure that out eventually. But
yeah. But again, Justin is an exception because he is thoroughly enthusiastic about it, and therefore he has taken it beyond what is honestly, in my opinion, expected of him as a tobacconist. Tobacconist.
Tobacconist. I love cigars. Like, I love the fact that you can have the same plant from different parts of the world, the way you roll it, the way it's grown, the way it's, how long it's been aged, all that stuff completely changes the flavor of it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
You know what I love? Billy Hunt.
What's up?
Welcome to the show.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I don't know anything about what you guys are talking about, so just wait till we get to the snake stuff.
Yeah, neither do I.
I was going to ask what Brandon's smoking, but then I realized he's in his snake room and it's freezing outside. So
apparently it's warm for him. 11
Well,
degrees is too much.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
50 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's pretty warm for up here.
Oh yeah, y'all are Celsius. I'm sitting here thinking 11.
When he said 11,
Fahrenheit.
I knew he
Jesus.
didn't mean 11 Fahrenheit.
That's 55 is what it's here right now. It's fine.
I'm at
Yes,
65.
Bill. The industry is very much Spanish centered. I don't think a lot of retail folks learn the language. I took like 3 years of Spanish between high school and college, so I mean I'm fairly decent at it. But you consider the two biggest growing regions for cigar tobacco and cigar rolling. It's going to come from the Dominican Republic and Nicaragua. And then Central American companies or countries like Honduras produce a lot. You get some tobacco out of Brazil. Costa Rica produces some. You don't see it very often though. And then you have like Sumatra and Cameroon leaf. Some of that is actually grown over there. Some of it's just sort of a strain. Like you see that with Cuban seed cigars too. It's like all of them were originally Cuban seed. It's kind of a marketing bullshit. But.
Right. I was going to say is there was a new company as of 2019 that was Mozambique, and it was a young guy who I guess he's a Mozambique native who I don't know if he studied in Oxford and moved into the United States to do marketing or something, but he loved cigars. And he's like, hey, man, we got some great soil in Mozambique. Why don't we just start planting plants? And he did. And now apparently this is like the first African country to ever grow their own tobacco and produce their own smokes, like from their stock. So I can't remember the name of it for the life of me. I'll find out and I'll make sure we put it in show notes or something. But
Cameroon is a wrapper you see very often in cigars. In talking to Steve Saka not that long ago, he kind of talked about it when he was at the shop. And unless you're like Fuente or some of these other like companies that have been around forever, apparently if you get Cameroon wrappers and you're not them, you're not getting very good grade tobacco.
One of my favorite Cameroons is actually from Diamond Crown. They have like a heavy Cameroon, and that thing is
nub
awesome.
Cameroon is awesome.
Which one is it?
The nubs.
Is that from Diamond Crown?
No. That's made by Nub, but I think that Nub Cameroon is probably one of the best Cameroons on the market, in my opinion. Then Bill said, are the distributors and suppliers for these companies from the company's home countries, or are there a bunch of American reps touring cigar shops representing them? No, so it's being a rep for a cigar company is not an easy job, especially if you have a family, because you're on the road 5 days a week. Most of them have a territory that they're in charge of, like, running. That's probably a minimum of 4 states. Most of them, it's more than that. Like, some of them will have from, like, the bottom half of Virginia down to, like, into just over the border here into Georgia. And then, like, upstate South Carolina into Chattanooga. I mean, we're talking about, like, just massive territories, and they're just on the road literally 5 days a week. And so you do kind of see a lot of turnover in that sort of regard with that industry, because I think after a while people just get burned out. You're on the road all the time. You're never home.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you have a family, it's not exactly conducive to a family life. But I mean, if you're young and you got nothing else to do, I think it's probably a pretty awesome job. I've definitely thought about doing it, but I just,
Yeah.
I think that for me, the problem would be like the forced socialization. Like being completely burned out, not wanting to talk to anybody, just wanting to hang out, and you have to do an event till midnight. You have a bunch of guys trying to get free cigars from you. Like, this is just, I could see myself being over that very quickly.
Burnout, yeah. Do they have marketing groups or like rep groups? or is it all independent to the
Like
manufacturer?
brokers.
I mean, I don't want to call them brokers. Like in my industry,
There's broker companies.
Yeah, but that's on the distribution level, right?
Yeah, but you'll have a rep from like Big Country Cigars is one, so they handle like Southern Draw, Caldwell,
Okay, that's
Macho.
Okay.
Yeah, and so you'll have one guy that handles like
Okay.
all those brands, which that makes it even harder, I think, because now you're trying to sell multiple people in the same shop with limited shelf space.
Yeah.
Instead of just one company, it's tough.
Yeah, that's how it is for most of the stuff in my industry. Is you have these rep groups that have 15 or 20 companies, and if I stock, say, 8 of those companies, he'll only give me the supplies for the stuff that I stock, marketing and brochures and, accounts and stuff like that. But
yeah,
they know that stuff inside and out. And I also have, like, not to sound like a big shot, but we have key accounts reps. So, like, because my store does so much of one brand or another, that company will then take their top sales guy or their top representative, and they'll make him a key accounts guy. So instead of Mossberg and Sons having one sales rep for 500 stores, I'll get one sales rep for key account, and he only has like 8 stores. Mm-hmm. Those are his key accounts.
Right. They want bigger volume.
They want to massage us with bigger hands.
Yeah. Bougier.
Well, I think our guests on this show are getting bored out of their freaking minds.
Well, it's Snakes and Stogies. Okay?
It is Snakes and Stogies.
My co-host was messaging me. She was like, "When are they going to start talking about snakes?" I was like, "You forgot the Stogies part, so."
That's right.
You gotta pay.
Keanu will just have to wait.
That's right.
I'm good.
Yeah, Billy's probably drunk already.
I saw she said that earlier that you changed your shirt. That was good.
What's happening on the snake front?
You got the exciting stuff going on.
Anybody feel free. I have. You want me to start?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. Cyanea hatched. I posted all over Facebook and Instagram, so surely it was seen. Had a clutch of 9. I had 2 stillborn, 3 stillborn. I had the last one to come out was an egg that was like super jacked up, and I wrote it off weeks ago. I was like, "There's no way this thing's gonna hatch. There's nothing in it." I candled it; didn't look like there was anything in it. So of course it was attached to a bunch of empty shells. So I was like, "Oh, I want to see how far along this one was," and I cut it open. Snake's alive inside. It just hadn't come out yet. So I put it back in there, and that one was the last one to come out, and it was like only 4 grams, and I found it dead in its water bowl today. So it wasn't much of a surprise, because that one was it looked pretty wimpy to begin with, pretty grunty. So other than that, I got the other 4. They all seem to be they were still in the egg, Henry.
Henry the Scavenger. The Ophiophagus vulture.
But the other 4 are doing fine. They're full of spunk, and they're little vicious beasts, little green-headed worms. I offered some food to 2 of them today. I tried scenting. I took a turkey case gecko and froze it the other day.
By the way, you froze it before they got loose.
I went through because I was like, I need to at least get one of these and freeze it, and of course, I only found 1. So they're around here somewhere.
I had to throw that in there.
It's fine because there's a ton of bugs in here, so they'll be.
Dude, they're gonna breed like weeds in there, and you're gonna have more than enough to just pluck off the wall.
Perfect.
I actually had Dr. Wyman hit me up a couple days ago. He's like, "Hey man, I'm having a real hard time finding feeder geckos. Can you steal me a bunch of house geckos from my neighborhood and ship them up?" I said, "Of course, but you got to give me a couple weeks because with this temperature drop, I haven't seen a single living thing in 3 weeks."
Yeah.
How cold is it there?
What's that?
How cold is it where you're at?
It's only 65 right now. It's supposed to get 50 tonight, but it's been consistently 68, 69 for the past week. So I just haven't seen the geckos moving, which is crazy because all the huntsmans are coming out, and like I forget how many huntsmans I have like in my neck of the woods, and like there's none out right now. But the other night I was sitting out here smoking, and I was actually talking to Dominique, and there was like 4 of them on the wall, and I'm like, it's amazing how the geckos are gone and the spiders come out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean it was shit. It was like 45 last night, and there was one chilling up in the corner up there.
The gecko or huntsman?
A gecko.
Oh, okay. Sweet.
But yeah, I mean, there's plenty of stuff in here for them to eat, so hopefully they make it so. And then we have our attic is right there with a nice gap for them to go in, so they can now populate up in our roof. And
Nice.
whatever.
There's a method to the madness.
So I sent it some frozen thawed pinkies and offered it to them. I got plenty of strikes, none of them took, so I'm just gonna. I only did 2 of them. I was gonna wait for them to shed out anyways. I was feeding everything, so I was gonna give it a shot. So. And I'm waiting for the female to drop clutch number 2. She's been cruising every night like a freaking mad woman, and she ain't giving them up. So.
How's it looking on the chondro front?
I have no idea what she is doing. I was expecting a prelay shed already, and I have yet to get one. So I don't know.
Virtue.
She refused food again today, so something's happening because she don't ever refuse food. I just don't know what the hell's going on.
Jeff says that they have 2 Gravid Solomons, and I commend him with the hat, sir, for taking on that project. Godspeed, Captain Stubing, with those babies.
Yeah, have fun with that.
I really thought about getting into Candoya.
Dude, I love Candoya.
Stock up on mouse tails. Start cutting them off now and bagging them up separately.
You gotta do it.
That's what I'm going to have to do with Cyanea is mouse tails at some point. I have a feeling it's going to have to start out that way.
So, Billy, let's hear what's new with you, pal.
I sent you a picture. We can start with that.
Oh, yeah, let's start with that. Well, actually, I queued up the pictures you sent me earlier today, but we'll talk about that striped, amazing deliciousness first. Screen share. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Damn!
Yeah, so I got that one coming.
What are we looking at here, Billy?
That's a Balin tiger from the legend himself.
Awesome.
So I actually don't have a straight Balin tiger, so I figured it's time for me to step my game up.
Very
How
cool.
is that possible? I would have figured you would have had like 5 of the damn things at this point.
All the Peterson stuff and then the Russian stuff, and like I have Balin mixes, but I don't know. Well, I have one now. Just gotta wait for it to get here.
And I remember, Billy, you sent me pictures the other day. That was different animals, right?
No, it was the same one. He messed up.
I knew it. I was like, dude, that looks like the same animal.
Yeah, I asked him, and he was like, "Yeah, that's the same animal. My bad."
I'm like, look at the pattern on the tail and like how the line breaks at 2.5 points. Like that's the same animal.
Yeah, I looked too hard at the same snake for too long.
Yeah, I love the 2 dots on the head. I love how the neckline breaks right at the nape. Like that just looks so good, man. Super crisp.
I really like the black. I see that more than anything. That stands out to me.
I really like the stripes.
You're such a dick, Justin.
Now, have you ever seen one that has literally a complete stripe from head to tail, like unbroken, in one of the Balins? It's so frustrating that it's so close.
Dude, that might be the closest one I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I want to say there is. Those are always the holdbacks, or the ones that go to like Paul Harris or those guys. But I mean, you pair that to the right animal, and you're bound to get at least one in a clutch that will be perfect or close to perfect.
Now, do you have plans on tying in the Peterson stuff to these?
So I was thinking about. I'll send you another picture, Phil.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about. Oh, hang on. Let me pull it up and send it to him. But reading one of the Petersons to it that's really clean, so I could keep like a super striped animal, but it technically be outcrossed, but still have the stripe genes going on.
I'm already loading up on mice, man. I put all the rat snakes down. I froze and vacuum sealed like 80 yesterday.
Yeah, keep doing it, man. It'll go quick.
Love it.
There it is. Boom.
So that's the male Peterson from 2018 that I'm raising up. He'll probably be ready to go next year. But
Yeah.
he's a lot cleaner than the other female that has a lot of peppering and stuff in her stripe.
And that kind of ties into what we were talking about with Casey the other night with the whole sort of outcrossing by necessity because of the limited amounts of blood in a certain pool.
Right.
Is that something you think you'd have to do with those?
Well, I already have a Peterson Balin animal that I can throw to my Peterson stuff. They'll still be 75% Peterson blood. I'm still trying to see how much blood they have to have so I can call them a Peterson, or just do you always call them an outcross at that point? No one can give me a straight answer on that.
I mean, I would think if there's any amount of non-Peterson blood in there, I would think that you'd have to call them an outcross regardless.
Well, because there's certain projects that people do, and there's certain projects people don't. So at what percentage do you just start calling it the same line of what you started with?
Because I guess I kind of look at it in terms of like chondros. Like if you have like an Aru and a Biak, you breed that back to another Aru, and you continue to do that. Like that Biak doesn't just disappear. It's still in there even if it's 4 generations back.
True.
Well, I mean, too, a lot of the quote-unquote lines that we have are just selectively bred animals.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's the ones that are distinct bloodlines are marketed as that. So it's really just us putting names on things at that point.
This is true. I don't know. Like with carpets, I look at it a little differently, just because we are limited on Popwins being the exception. We are limited on what we have, so I guess people do have to be a little more careful about it, I would think, or be more cognizant of what they're doing with those lines.
I mean, I'm still going to do the Peterson animals. I'm not going to not try to keep those pure. I've only bred them 1 generation, so I still have plenty of time to see how long I can do that.
In fact, speaking of carpets, I was watching Carpets and Coffee today on our fellow network folks at NPR, and I was unaware that there is a line of jungles called the Lightning line that was produced by Terry Phillip, and those things are freaking sweet.
Oh yeah, those have been around forever.
I was completely unaware of their existence.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that people don't realize are out there because they were prevalent 15, 20 years ago, and now nobody knows about them.
We need a spotlight on those for sure for the mag. That'd be a good one. Because I'd never heard of them. I was completely oblivious to them.
That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
it's just finding somebody that has all the information on them. Because it gets to a point with all the different lines that you can just say, like with the jungles, you can say, oh, LASIK line, hairline, this, that. But a lot of the people that say, I have this jungle that's a hairline to hamper line to this line, is they don't know the backstory to them. They just know the name of the line.
Yeah, Steven was watching earlier. He can back it up. Like, that thing was freaking sweet, man.
Oh no, the
One
lightning
that
line is
Bert
highly
had.
documented.
I loved it.
Yeah, they're awesome animals.
That's a rat snake.
So speaking of striped animals, yellow rat that I got from our guy Philip here.
Yeah.
Dude, that thing went crazy as soon as I put that in front of him.
Nice. Like, just went after it?
Well, it wasn't like super aggressive towards it, but like it ate right, like it put its mouth on it right away.
Good. Dude, I never noticed, like, you could see how the stripes are coming in. Like, right in there.
Yeah. You can't see in the picture, but you saw in person when you brought him over, like the yellow on the lower jaw and neck and stuff is going to look like that one.
Yeah. It looks great. And it's crazy, man, because it makes me so happy to know that I personally field collected those animals. I know exactly where they're from, GPS coordinates, and they are so similar in appearance, but they are 182 miles apart, or 182 miles apart. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
But dude, I think that animal is gonna look so awesome in the next like 6 to 8 months. It's gonna be great.
If it doesn't change at all, I'll be more than happy with it.
Yeah,
But it's only going to get better.
Yeah, I imagine that those stripes are going to stay that faint, that like very low opacity, and then the sides are just going to yellow out. I mean, that's my prediction.
Someone's selling a trio of yellows on Fauna right now for like $100 plus shipping.
Oh, really?
So tempting. That'd just be a fun project.
love
Man. Me
how
and
big
Jake
they
have
get.
talked about it forever. I don't know if we're ever going to do it.
Well,
now your boy Billy's going to do it because you guys are scared.
I love it.
I just got too much stuff I want to get into and not enough space to do it right now. So
No.
Preaching to the choir, man.
I don't know.
So clearly, Brandon is a proven breeder.
That's right.
No, unless that was just a baby he picked up. We stole from. Y'all have Walmarts up there?
Yeah, we do.
Oh man, of course you do. Well,
There's
no one
Walmart.
can escape Walmart.
It's still on the North American continent. There's Walmarts.
Yeah. It's just that we don't have all the crazy stuff you guys have.
We stole it from a Walmart. We got it in the baby aisle.
Well, let me ask you, Brandon, do you guys have the people of Walmart? Have you seen that?
Yeah. We have some
Do you
weird.
call it the eclectic group of shoppers?
Yeah.
The difference is we have pygmy rattlers in the garden section and people get bit. They have moose like walking in and just destroying everything.
Yeah, that's right.
That's actually
Moose and deer and coyotes and whatever else.
Do you know that there was like that 6 month window where there's two different people. There's one in South Carolina, one in Florida, where they got tagged by pygmy rattlesnakes in potted plants, like when they put their thumb in. Do you know I went to like 4 Walmarts looking?
I can totally see you doing that.
Yeah,
That's funny.
Like a flashlight and stuff, and everyone's like, what the fuck is that guy doing?
I always have a flashlight in my pocket. I always have like a 600 lumen flashlight in my pocket for like work and stuff. And I literally went to like 3 different garden centers on my day off. I went 3 different Walmarts like across the county. And I was like, yeah.
Of course, there's none. It's just like coral snakes. Everyone but me sees them.
Well, it's like the one that was the Walmart that's right next to my parents' house. It's literally like across the street. All I found was fire ants. And I was like, oh my God, where are they getting this soil from? It's literally just everything was just infested with fire ants. Could you imagine like taking that home, putting it in like, your living room or whatever? And like, oh God. Horrible. So Brandon, what do you got cooking right now?
He's been busy.
Yeah, I'm always busy. Between work, the collection, I'm vice president of the Alberta Reptile Amphibian Society, so I've been dealing with a lot of bylaw changes that have been going on in the province. So
Really?
That's a nightmare. And trying to get these hatchlings that don't want to eat for me eating. So I produce.
He's been producing some of them mad hogs like crazy, man.
Yeah,
It's
this is
freaking
my
awesome.
second clutch of Leohedrodon Madagascariensis.
Nice.
So the Madagascar Giants. And the first clutch last year that I had, It was kind of late in the season. It was hatched at like November 28th, so a little later than most people. This clutch hatched a couple months ago, and they're doing a lot better than my luck last year. So all 5 are still alive. The ones that I had last year, I had 10, and only 3 of them made it. So
They lay pretty big eggs.
yeah, they do lay pretty big eggs.
Like Pituophis almost. Freaking huge.
Yeah, I was really surprised. They're really oblong, so like
Mm-hmm.
I never realized when the female's going to drop. All of a sudden, I just noticed her behavior's changed, and then I'm like, oh, there's eggs.
Yeah, man, like incubating those cyanea, just seeing how small those eggs were. I mean, I knew they came out small, but like seeing them come out, I think the 2 of the biggest ones are 6 grams when they came out.
Wow.
But
Ooh.
you're like, there's no way something's going to come out of that. And it's like, there it is. And then I think about it. I mean, chondro eggs aren't really a whole lot bigger. You know, it's pretty interesting. But
I have a couple of friends who've produced some of the giants, and
Yeah, chondros are tiny when they hatch.
Brandon, how big's your larger female giants?
they're probably around like 5 foot. My male's bigger than all my females. He's a
Oh, wow.
monster.
Nice.
Yeah.
And your guys' lines that you have up there, like, are they imports or are they lines? Like, do they have like, are they more pronounced on the zigzags?
All my adults that I have are all imports. The only ones I have one that's actually captive bred from my buddy out in Medicine Hat. He produced them 2 years ago now.
Okay.
And so he's coming up on 2 in April. And then I've just produced a couple. There's only been like 5 people up here that have produced captive breds.
Okay.
Everything else has either been captive hatch with stuff that's been coming wild caught and grabbed.
so I know Riley's talked about cohabbing his and them seeming to do better cohabbed. Has that been your experience as well?
I co-have a pair year round, and then all my other ones are individual because I have a 2019 import male, so I don't want to house him with anybody yet. He did go through quarantine for 6 months before I put him into a snake room. But I still want to keep an eye on him. He's a little smaller too than my females, so I don't want to put him in there quite yet. And then all my hatchlings are all separate for now. Well, I have been thinking about doing a ginormous, like 10-foot enclosure and keeping like a 2.3 in there.
That'd actually be really interesting.
Yeah, it's something that I want to do in the future. Do a really big ass enclosure, plant it, lights, everything, and put lots of cameras in there and monitor behaviors. Because
They have like natural nesting behaviors too, don't they?
yeah, I hear females
If I'm not mistaken.
nest in dens together.
Like communal nest, yeah. That'd be so cool to see.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting. I haven't seen too many photos from wild stuff in Madagascar of anything like that, but I check on iNaturals every once in a while. I see them eating lots of eggs in the wild, so I haven't seen any hatchlings or juveniles, just mostly adults.
Have a
all
dead
females,
cam, Billy said.
Now when you say that they cohab like their den or nest or whatever, they're not hanging out with the egg. They all happen to pick that choice spot and they deposit and leave.
All my females coil around their eggs.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
nice.
think it's like legitimately like a den, like communal.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Yeah,
it's really
Um,
interesting. I don't know. I just remember
This year
reading
coming up-
O'Reilly's article, and it had a bunch of information I didn't know about him.
Nice.
Yeah, this year coming up, I'll try to do a maternal incubation clutch. So let's see how well that goes.
Sweet. I wonder if it has to do with any like thermodynamics in the den.
It might. Yeah, because all my females, they'll hide in their hide and coil around it, and they don't pick a very big spot. It's pretty tight.
Very cool.
I like the blondes a lot. I think that's probably my favorites out of those. Maybe this is it the blondes and speckleds. Are those two different, separate?
Yeah, they're different.
Yeah,
Yeah, the speckleds are my favorites out of those. I think those are really cool.
yeah. I have 1, 2, 3 speckleds right now, and I'm buying a pair of captive breds. So those were the first ones in Canada that I know of. So, and funny thing is I traded the guy last year for an extra female that I had for a male, and they produced for him.
Damn.
So, It is what it is.
Yeah.
It probably took you a hot minute to get all that group together, because I mean I can't imagine those aren't very easy to find here, let alone I'm sure they're even harder to find up there. So
Well, I got an importer. He tells me when they're coming in, and I'm like, just take my money.
that helps.
Yeah, he's like, what do you want? And he gets me pretty much whatever.
We lost
That's illegal in the province anyway. So,
oh really?
yeah, there's a lot of
I
restrictions.
know. What is the Ashley at Northern Lights Imports always has Boiga that I want so bad.
I know, and I can't have any of them.
She always gets like the coolest stuff. I'm like, son of a bitch.
I know, she's
There he
all the
is.
cool stuff. I was talking to her the other day about some wild-caught Madagascar snakes that I was thinking about getting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't do it because we don't know anything about them. They were discovered in 2010, and they just got a description. They don't even know what they eat. So
It's Madagascarophis.
I have to pull up the name again. It was something Pat and I.
No.
Yeah, it was recently discovered. They're super cool looking.
See, I'm reading that book on venomous snake bites from non-venomous snakes, and that just makes me want more of the oddball rear fang stuff even more. It's just so cool.
I gotta get
so
that
interesting. Well,
yeah,
Travis Wyman had a copy, and he surprised me and sent it to me without me knowing. So I came home to a package, and it was that book because I was telling him how badly I wanted to get it, and that there was only like one left on Amazon. And man, that is like I'm about halfway through it. This is probably the fastest I've ever read a book too, and it's like my favorite reptile book I've ever read so far. It's so freaking cool.
Yeah, I got bit by my wild-caught female blonde. That's not a fun time.
Yeah, describe how was that?
She bit me on my forearm in the middle of it, and she latched on for a good solid minute, and then the whole area swelled up. It was pretty red and puffy, and then I had numbness in my hands and in that arm, so it was my right arm, and then pain in my shoulder for about 2 days.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
like the actual joints.
Yeah, like the actual joint in my shoulder was really sore.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if it has to do with like, I don't want to say like ligament, destruction, or I've also heard with some of them that basically the muscle starts to react as if it has lactic acid, even though it doesn't. So that's interesting.
Yeah, I talked to Dr. Fry about it, and he was like, that is very interesting, but he didn't really give me too much information on it besides that most of their bites, they're not really too toxic to us, and that their bites are more strong, kind of like Karibo bites. So.
Yeah, well, it's the thing I've learned from this book so far, is that rear fanged is a very, very, very broad term.
Yeah.
Not all rear fangs are created equal. Not all rear fangs work the same. And so I'm planning on really doing sort of an in-depth video that sort of talks about it and explains a little bit better. But I want to get the help of some other people that are, on the academic side a little more well-versed in it than I am, so that I make sure that the information I'm putting out is accurate and reliable. So I'm kind of working on that. I don't know when I'll do it, but...
Good afternoon, Scott.
Yeah, that'll be really cool.
This is just fascinating,
Yeah, with the Madagascar hognoses, I think their rear fangs are kind of more for like eating eggs and stuff, because I see them eat a lot of eggs in the wild. They eat a lot of pleuris eggs, so that might have something to do with it, but nobody really knows. Well,
that's one of the things I was actually talking about in the group chat the other day. Is I was reading that book, and it talks about what is it, the Mapalon, the big. I don't even know what their common name is, but they're over in Europe and they're really common.
Yeah.
And they have a Duvernoy's gland, but they don't have the grooved dentition to match, which I thought was very interesting. Like most of them, if they have a Duvernoy's gland, they have some sort of channel in that fang that some have a more extreme channel than others. Like it's a horrible way to describe it, but like I find it odd that species has the Duvernoy's gland. Like they have all the parts, but for whatever reason, the teeth and the dentition doesn't match that to where it doesn't really
It's like I'm pretty sure Montpelier snakes also have.
That's what they are. That's the
Yeah.
Mapillon. Yeah.
No, but isn't there one that specifically, like, they call it like it is a Mapillon? Because Montpeliers are all over the entire Mediterranean, or is it just that whole genus?
I'll have to look at the book. I think it was.
Nipper's gonna yell at us real bad.
He probably is gonna hear this and
Yeah.
call us all kinds of names.
Yeah. Anyway,
I heard that, or I read a while back, so I might be wrong, but like radiated rats, they have the gland, they just don't have the delivery system.
interesting. The Cognathus, do they have Duvnoy's glands or no?
If you're asking me, I don't know.
It's been a really long time. Like that was years ago when I read that. I just remember seeing that and being like, oh, that's really interesting.
I don't know. Like I said, it's such a rear fanged is such a broad term because it's such a spectrum, in terms of just anatomy, like anatomically, like there's a very large array. And then, the actual Duvernay's gland itself, some are, going to be completely different than others, and just.
What about the bird snakes, Billy?
Not that I know of, but I haven't gone hardcore into any field studies or scientific papers on those yet. I was talking to Jason.
What's their teeth like?
Dude, watching yours, that head structure, like you just imagine it has something.
Yeah, I actually haven't been bitten by mine.
You haven't, or you have?
So I have not.
Oh, okay.
I wonder if it's like emeralds, where they have just massive teeth for getting through all that plumage and being able to hold on to something. And I wonder if, it's a colubrid, so they have those shorter teeth, but if theirs are slightly longer and a little more pronounced.
I don't think so, because anytime you look them up, you see them in a defensive posture and their mouth open and stuff, and it just looks like any other colubrid. I feel like it would be really noticeable in those pictures.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't think that. I mean, mangroves and boiga look defensive as hell, but you can't see that it's venomous. You know what I mean?
If you have them behind the head, you can see that those are your fangs.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about
they're there.
The classic posture where it's
yeah.
And the head structure is all flattened out and heart shaped.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was talking to Jason, and what I didn't know is that the Pacilinotus is a subspecies, and there's multiple subspecies within their range. So different ones that come in, if you know what you're looking at, there's actually different subspecies that come in. They're not all Pacilinotus.
Oh.
So I'm still learning a lot about those.
But the ones that you and him have are both Pacilinotus.
Those are Pacilinotus, yeah.
Okay.
Well, next month I'm going to attempt to pair the Janseni. Pretty excited about that. See if anything happens.
Already? Awesome.
I think the female's big enough. It wouldn't be a big clutch, but I think she could do it.
I don't start pairing anything till early spring. You gotta start cooling here soon.
That's Goniosoma, like true Goniosoma, Oxycephalum and the Janseni. I think from everything I've read, that's a species you can breed pretty much year round. You really don't have to do a whole lot to get them to give you eggs.
Thanks, Bill.
Well, I am going to be throwing the Gilas in the chiller tomorrow.
Did you figure out what you're going to do as far as what you're going to put them in?
Yeah, I decided I'm going to do bags because just the confined space of the chiller is not conducive to a physical tub.
Yeah.
And unless I got the perfect tub, and then it was, I don't know if it was Casey, I think it was who recommended it, but putting them in PVC
yeah,
and capping them off, and I don't think I have enough length. I don't think I have enough depth. And I think your snake bags is just going to be the best. They can still turn around. They can stretch out if they want to. I'll probably just throw some crinkled. I have inked newspaper. I buy it by the roll for a lot of the species that like cobras and stuff that just destroy their cages. I'll just use uninked new newspaper, and I'll probably just crumble up a bunch of newspaper, put it in the bag with them, and I'll just do 2 shelves so they're not like touching each other. And
James wants to know how cold you get them.
So Rob Stone told me 55 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
He also said that if it went down to 50, it wouldn't be that big a deal. Going to like 45 might be an issue. But I'm also doing like a quick winter. It's only going to be 3.5, 4 weeks, depending on the dates and how I want to line it up. Because I got to take them. I got to factor in an extra 10 days, 2 weeks to bring them back up. So I'm going to do the chiller is holding 49 to 50 degrees. I tried to get it to go higher and it just won't. I think it's just new and like it wants to be cold, you know, because it's meant for wine. It's not. Most people are probably just dropping it down to as low as it'll go. So it's holding 49, 50 even, and like I have my temp gun and I'm checking the sides, and obviously I'm checking the bottom because cold air sinks, and I'm content with it being 50 degrees for 3 weeks. I think I'll be all right. So.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see how that works for you.
Yeah, and then, excuse me, I'm actually at the point now where I'm terrified about putting them together because I don't know how I'm going to break them up if they fight, like legit fight. So I think I'm honestly just going to do the thickest, like galvanized rubber gardening gloves I can, and and honestly like a wooden spoon. Like I'm just thinking like maybe a spatula. I'm thinking like outside the box here. Because I figured like a rubber spatula wouldn't be that bad if I got like smack them or like stick it in their mouth. So I'm literally thinking outside the box here.
Why don't you just wear riot gear?
Yeah, I mean, where's Brad? Why is Brad not in here? I have questions.
He's here. I don't know where you're at.
Come on, Brad. Stop hiding, man.
I just picture you with like gloves on and like a rolled up newspaper, and you're just gonna pop them if they get out of line.
So, yeah, it'll be fun, man. It'll be fun. And I got to set up. I have an extra 2-foot vision that I'm going to set up as like a holding pen for the mail, and then I imagine I'm going to do some. I'm just going to sit with them. I'm going to just do it where I just sit there with a drink in my hand and just stare at lizards for however long it takes. I got to ask Rob and Reed if they left them together overnight, because when I was reading is they kind of don't do anything overnight with each other. It's almost like a morning thing, but I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. I really don't know what I'm doing. Playing it by ear. With venomous lizard. It's the most professional I've ever been.
There's Brad. Brad's there.
Brad, how do I separate my healers if they fight during courtship? Don't answer that. Just message me.
And we wait.
Don't answer that. Just message me or call me later. So, but yeah, man, it's been a crazy like week and a half of December. I feel like everyone was like, "Oh God, it's Christmas! Oh no, we have to do everything right now." So, like, I don't even want to know what a mall looks like, because I feel like the people that are crazy enough to fight the COVID and go to the mall are the people that I don't want to be in line with. You know what I mean?
Literally stab you for a TV.
Yeah. Like, nobody went out on Black Friday, but they're shopping throughout the week. I feel that.
Brad said alcohol, Listerine, etc.
Yeah, no, I know about the Listerine. I already have that primed and prepped. That's the typical Facebook professional venomous keeping. Thanks a lot, pal.
Does he even know what a Gila monster is?
I'm sure he's probably bred them at some zoological institution somewhere, and he's gonna give me the best tips ever, and it's gonna work, and I'll feel stupid.
No one makes me bleed my own blood.
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Yeah, and Scott, I can't imagine what it's like to have Christmas down under in summer.
Dude, I can't wrap my head around that either. That's like the first thing I asked Jake Hansen when we talked to him on the show was like,
Yeah, I remember that.
it's like, what's it like to have a Christmas tree in summer?
Yeah.
That'd be so strange.
Bizarre.
It's just an acacia bush with neon lights on it.
It's
all it
eucalyptus.
Yeah.
Eucalyptus tree with Christmas lights and a koala in it.
Yeah.
Dressed with a little Santa hat. They dressed him like elf on a shelf as a fucking koala. They hide it around the house in various places.
But it's real and it's alive.
A real koala, yeah.
They just randomly put koalas places.
Scott said they're just venomous blue tongues.
There you go, man.
Fair enough.
You're not wrong.
I can't even disagree with that.
Yeah, but you don't go through the most agonizing pain of your life if you get bit by the blue tongue.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to take a freaking hit off one of those suckers, man.
Yeah, and it's not like they're, yearlings that I'm trying to tame down or something. These are full-fledged, like 6 and 7-year-old adults. And like, I have videos of my female. This is so morbid, and people are gonna yell at me for this, but like, I fed it live wrap-ups, and like normally you would hear the bones crunching as it consumes its prey item. But this time, this is what made me stop feeding it live prey, is it swallowed it alive, and I could hear it squeaking inside a lizard.
I've had that happen with snakes. I felt so bad. So bad.
Yeah. What a way to go. It's like that Sarlacc in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah. That's why I hate feeding live, man. I don't care how many times I do it and how long I've been doing it. I feel like a piece of shit every time I do it.
No, I don't mind feeding
Sometimes
live.
you got to.
Yeah, I don't mind feeding live with venomous because it's done. You know what I mean? A couple seconds, it's out. Especially with lapids, But like that Gila eating it and ooh.
I have to feed live to get my Madagascar giants started. Or they usually don't eat anything.
Mm. Do those babies just overpower the prey item?
Some of them that actually try to eat it, they sit there and they clamp down real hard, and then it just sits there until it stops squeaking. And
oh, wow.
And then you can kind of see some color changing within the skin. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
And then sometimes if they don't eat it and they like bite it, the next day it'll just be liquid on the inside.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had
kind of like it's like how the Pituophis sort of pin it to the side of the tub until it, like, instead of constricting it, they kind of just jam it up against a wall.
Dude, my drive, bro. Anything you put in there that resembles a prey item, they immediately mash it into the substrate. And I've watched them. They don't really eat that much dirt, if not any, but they mash it into dirt. And then if I'll take a second, like, mouse on hemostats, and obviously frozen thawed, if I take another mouse on hemostats and, like, I touch it to their back, they'll throw a bow up and pin it to the walls of the cage and be like, I'm saving that for later.
Just freaking Doc Ock.
Just like Doc Ock.
It's Spider-Man.
And then, like, they just give you that look like, I'm going to eat that. Don't worry. I'm going to eat it. Savages.
Yeah, live feeding sucks, but it, like Scott said, it has its place. Like, sometimes you have to. Sometimes you don't have a choice.
Yeah,
I'm not afraid to do it. I just feel bad when I do it.
Yeah,
Yeah, one of my wild caught giants wouldn't eat anything but live for the first while. Surprisingly, ASFs worked really well.
Really?
Which I thought was kind of strange.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I wonder if they're not, like, introduced on the island, are they?
I'm not sure. I tried looking it up and I couldn't find any information if they were or not, but they are there.
I don't know. There's a couple, like, some carpets and some chondros, like ASS for whatever reason, or like the magic bullet. So I don't know what it is about those with some individual snakes that's the trick, but thank God I haven't had to deal with one yet. For
my hatchlings, that's all they'll take, and I've tried feeder lizards. It might not be the right feeder lizard, so that might be the problem too. So I'm trying to get some Pictus geckos and maybe start a colony of those for my hatchlings and see if that's something that they want, a ground-dwelling lizard.
Cool. Yeah, I just always think it's interesting how people just assume that African sulfurs are just everywhere in Africa. And it's like, no, they're not really in that area. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, for my giants, it's kind of weird because the description of what they eat is kind of they're opportunistic animals, so they just eat pretty much whatever fits in their mouth.
Yeah.
But my adults, they love birds specifically, so I think they eat a lot of ground birds in the wild and the plurse eggs. Because
Yeah, I mean, I always imagined they were just the Dramark you know?
pretty much because they're everywhere. The giants are the most common snake in Madagascar, which is strange.
Really?
And there's very little information on them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You would think with them being so common, they would be easier in captivity.
You would think.
That usually translates, not all the time, usually does.
Yeah, the adults are really easy. They were pretty easy to acclimate. I didn't have too many deaths. I had a lot better luck with females acclimating than the males. Males seem to die off more often, in my experience. It's just a pain in the ass. 'Cause I'd end up getting a 1.1 pair, and then it turns out it's all females, and then I get a male, and the male would die, and I have to find another male, and so on and so forth.
Hey,
the hatchlings are nightmares.
Brandon, let me ask you: do you guys ever get African mole snakes or no?
We might. I have never seen any.
All right, we used to get them pretty frequently 10, 15 years ago, and nobody really gave a shit about them. And they're one of my favorite snakes, and I've been looking for them for a while. I mean, don't get me wrong, I haven't been looking that hard. Someone's going to send me a link right now, but I just comparing, we were talking about filling that niche role of the ground dweller that overpowers stuff. Yeah. And I just feel like those West African moles are literally they're brown Crebos, they're heavy-bodied Crebos. Basically, they're like a stretched out giant hog with no pattern. And I'm just thinking about that, man. I gotta get some of them. Those are awesome.
Yeah, those used to be. We used to see those all the time. I haven't seen one of those in a long time.
Yeah, man.
I feel like I saw one randomly, within the last year.
Oh, really? Like somebody just happened to bring one in?
I want to say yeah, but I never look for them, so I don't really pay attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see quite often the African imports coming out this way, but it's usually not something I'm looking for because I prefer the Madagascar species of snakes. So that's 90% of my collection is Madagascar hognoses.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at getting what is it? I can't remember the name now, but they're a tree snake from Madagascar, and they eat lizards. And they kind of look like a California king snake ran into a wall.
Really?
Yeah, so they got a flat nose.
Interesting.
I have to find the name of it now.
What are you searching, Justin?
I'm looking at mole snakes.
Oh, I literally just pulled it up screen check.
I did too earlier. Yeah, Stenophis bastilianus. They're pretty cool looking snakes.
Yeah, man. This is the ones, this color pattern is some of the stuff that we used to get. Very, very rubber boa-ish, you know?
They remind me of if a Pituovis and a Taipan had a baby.
Yeah, they definitely have that pseudo-elapid head, you know?
Are those the stiletto snakes?
No.
Or is that a different snake?
No, totally different.
Okay.
Like this. I want that.
If stilettos got that big, it'd be a nightmare.
Dude, if stilettos got that big, it would be scary as hell.
Yeah.
But I guess don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure the farther south in the continent you go, the lighter they get. Oh, look at this one. That's really good looking. And this one,
belly.
Imagine getting that mixed up. Jesus.
That would suck. Phil's talking to somebody.
Ooh.
Who's the lucky guy?
This is my beautiful neighbor. This is Brandon. He's in Canada. That's Billy. He's in Tampa. And Justin. He's in Beaufort, South Carolina.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
There's also 48,000
Hello.
people.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. It's like 6. She was like, "Really? Because I could put my Instagram name out there."
There's those Stenopus I was telling you about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty neat looking.
That is cool.
Yeah, they've got a really interesting face. It's
It's
kind
like
of
an Amantides.
9 cool people, Billy.
It's actually 23.
Boom.
No, Jeff, I wish I need to find it. But Scott said he's punching up on his weight. Bill said just because there's 6 of us doesn't mean you can't drop the IG handle.
period Sid.
Wait, say it one more time. What is it?
Sidekick, period Sid.
There you go, guys. There you go.
and the other Madagascar snakes I want are pretty cool too, but they're also like $1,000 each imported, wild caught. So it's because to some of the herpetologists' knowledge and the importers' knowledge, they haven't been exported yet. So they're pretty neat. I haven't decided if I want to drop that kind of money on some wild caught snakes that are probably going to die. But they're pretty crazy looking.
What is Jake getting? Oh,
Jake
I get
ain't
it.
getting.
I get it.
Jake's not getting anything. That's freaking cool.
It's got stripes. You got Billy's attention.
I'm in.
Yeah, they're super cool. They got a pink tail.
Wow.
So I'm not sure if that's used to lure prey or something. Like
That just screams, "Don't pick me up."
Yeah, it's like, hey, you probably shouldn't be touching me.
they don't believe they're venomous, but I don't think anybody's taken a bite because they only have had one specimen for the description. So
They didn't think twig snakes were venomous either.
It's just like a ring neck. It'll be fine.
And they
And where are
didn't
these
think
native to?
boom slings were venomous.
Where are these native to again?
Madagascar.
Oh, awesome.
The one that they found was in a pretty high elevation too. So I think it was like 3,000 feet.
Wow.
Wow.
And they're found in 3 protected parks. So wherever they're collected from, and they're coming this way, they were illegally caught.
I'm sure there's always, like, obviously we tend to think of the darker side of it, like,
Yeah.
oh, they're smuggled, or oh, they're snuck out. But I almost compare it to like a lot of hunters where their farmland borders a national preserve, and the elk happen to migrate onto their property. It's fair game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I wonder if it's very similar where like some guy owns an agricultural plantation or something, and he's like, hey, I pay you guys to come collect every snake off my property because I don't want to get people bit or whatever, and they happen to find those. You never know.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. But yeah, the herpetologist I talked to, I asked him, I was like, so what do you know about these? Because I was like really thinking about getting them. And he's like, as much as everybody else, which is nothing besides what they look like. So, and he's like, they're only found in these 3 areas that are protected, so they might be illegally caught. So, and then he was like, if you get those, I'd be really envious. But it's
Speaking of colorful stuff, Billy, you were looking at some Amazons lately, huh?
Mm.
What's that?
I was saying we were
Yeah, I
talking
sent you
about colorful stuff. You've been looking at some Amazons lately, right? Billy,
You went in and out. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Yes.
Amazons.
on tree boas.
A blessing.
Yes. Put it up. Put it up.
Oh, did you send me one?
Shut up, Justin.
Is Rusty still in the
I
Navy?
just texted a thing to you.
Instagram?
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude.
I need to watch that movie.
That is
It's Christmas
not
Vacation.
real. That is fake. This is not.
It's a
What?
tiger, isn't
No,
it?
that's real, dude.
This is amazing.
It's a leopard tiger.
Oh, wait.
What just happened?
Wrong button. Sorry.
Dude, look at that animal.
Boom.
That's phenomenal.
Damn.
So that's a incomplete dominant tiger with a recessive leopard.
Wow. And see, man, I honestly thought that the whole Amazon tree boa morph thing was, I don't want to say a sham, but like, isn't it supposed to be extremely variable? Like Squaminger's vipers, like you can do a yellow and a green, and it's not going to make blues or reds. It's just going to be whatever comes out. You know what I mean? Or have
Yeah, but they do
Well,
have
the
some
leopard-
like true morphs, like the leopards.
Yeah, the leopards are recessive, and you can't get any of the colors in them. They're always gardens or normals, whatever you want to call them.
Okay.
But there should be two other pictures. I don't know if you can scroll on that.
I'm trying
There's
to.
a little arrow right there.
Hang on. I lost the page. There's too many pages. Oh, here's my cursor. All right. There we go. Oh, yeah. Dude, that thing's awesome.
It's a gorgeous animal.
It is.
I mean, I know a lot of people aren't into the morph stuff now, but holy crap.
And like the fadedness in here, and like up in here. Look at the eyes. Crazy. This is the same animal, just darker, or are these three different animals?
I just saw the post and sent it to you as soon as I saw it. I'm assuming that's a different animal.
Okay.
Because I've been talking to Dayton for a little bit now, and he's been telling me about this litter. And holy crap, it's better than I thought they would have came out, honestly.
Yeah, man. And they look like they're bigger than normal. I mean, assuming that they're neos. I mean, comparing them to the size of that mesh netting, like that's a good sized baby, man. It's a big
Yeah.
baby.
You know what I
that's pretty
saw on Fauna today? I'm so bummed I don't have the spare cash lying around because I would snatch these up in a freaking heartbeat.
What is that?
That's the Fisher's tree snake, so that's the Toxicodrias.
Wow.
He has the Latin spelled wrong. It's like pulvernata or pulverlenta. So it's like the other Toxicodrias species that you don't see as much, but freaking cool,
Very cool.
man.
Randy says that Amazon is the same animal. It's just a night versus day picture.
That's right. It said that in the post.
Very cool. Yeah, Andy. Andy wants a velvet rat snake.
God, they're so cool,
Big old
man.
eyes.
Oh, I need to check and actually see if mine ate. I left a fuzzy in there today.
The ghost phantom eater.
Yeah. They evaporate. He's Houdini, man. Now you see him, now you don't.
So Jeff just sent me the Candoyas, but I can't seem to.
Juggernaut?
Yeah. It's not opening. Standby.
Yeah, they're the Isabels.
Oh, those are cool.
Yeah, there we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, they're pretty.
Juggernaut. Boom.
No. It's a
Look
freaking
at that.
Tessera.
Look at that.
Yeah, those are really cool snakes. As far as the Candoya goes, those are probably one of my favorite. Well, as far as the ground boas, those are my favorites.
Mine too.
And look at the size.
That's,
Like, it's hard to beat
they're
a snake
tiny.
with that much white on it. Yeah, those are like the V18 Vision tubs.
Yeah, I mean, just look at the cocoa chips that are in there, dude. That thing is super tiny. Crazy.
What's up with knobtails, Phil?
Well,
Been
My
doing anything
pal-
with yours?
Hmm?
You've been breeding yours at all? Like, what's the?
No.
You don't talk about knobtails anymore. What happened?
I love them. I cherish them dearly. I've been slacking on the Instagram page because my work has been atrocious and shy of selfless promotion of this podcast as well as THP and the magazine. I haven't been like on Instagram at all. I mean, even like our group that we talk in every single day, I'm trying to play catch up on a daily basis or weekly basis. Dude, my iPhone, every Sunday it tells you like the screen time for the week. My iPhone consistently is like down 23%, down 25%, down 30%, just because I'm just not on my phone and I'm not. Yeah, but my geckos are good, except for my one male levies that died. Sad panda. And they're being cooled, and I'm late to the game, but hopefully after Christmas I'm going to bring them back up and throw them together and see what happens. My underwear soles are getting fat and happy, though.
There you go. Cox said, Billy, if you like white, you should have ivory zebras.
Yeah, I mean, out of all the,
Yeah.
I don't know, out of all the carpets, jungles are probably my least favorite. I'm more of a IJ coastal guy. I mean, I have them. I like the ones I have, but
What a weirdo.
I guess I can't have them all, right?
Billy,
Hey, you're coming pretty damn close.
Can you look at the picture of that ocelot that I posted in the group a couple days ago? I can't get on Instagram on this thing. Actually, I probably could. Let me try and log in.
You posted in the group?
Yeah, but hold on a second. What the hell's my name?
It's the one from Martin, right?
Oh, yeah, I think so. Yeah, this computer sucks and won't let me do Instagram. Yeah, I'll be honest. Ocelots are pretty awesome. I mean, it's a lot of genetics going in there, but those things are fucking cool.
I'm with Henry on that one. He said if you like white, you should have McGregor eye.
Yeah, well, I can't afford McGregor eyes.
No one can.
No one can.
Well, that settles that.
Yeah, right.
I've almost gotten ocelot stuff multiple times. I actually like the non-jags better.
Ocelots are nice. I don't really care what they are. Like they're good looking snakes.
Like, people are starting to figure out that you can selectively bred the non-jag animals and still get the ocelot gene to show, and you get like crazy looking normals.
Really?
Dude, why is it every time a Juneau Road Baird's goes for sale, it sells in like a freaking minute?
What's it look like? Oh, well,
That was a good price too.
It's line bred, Billy.
Look at that. So nice. I want all the Bairds.
you would have them.
I don't need more, but I want more.
Just send it to you, Phil.
Thank you very much. There it is. Oh, yeah, there it is. Look at this freaking snake. Dude, that's amazing. I just can't get over that animal.
It reminds me of those crazy Brettles hybrids that Patterson had for sale, that Casey had.
Yeah, very simple. But like,
You got more coming your way, Phil.
sweet. Yeah, just like all this color in here.
The tipping.
Oh yeah, that has that diamondish tipping in there, and just like how.
Phil, put the other one up.
Okay. Hold on. Hang on. Where's it? Oh, dude.
You're welcome.
Oh my God! Look at this shit. Oh my God! I wish the people listening could see this. This right here will make you want to watch the YouTube version.
Oh,
dude!
I almost have to wear sunglasses looking at that, dude. Like it hurts
So
my
good.
eyes. It's like staring at the sun.
And like, look at this. Like everyone who knows me knows I love Dubois, and like this is so Russell's Vipery,
Yeah, it is.
dude.
I could never put my finger on it. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it reminds me of, especially in the tail.
Oh yeah.
Every time I see that, I'm like, man, that reminds me of something. I could never figure it out, but that's exactly what it is Russell's Vipers.
And you've got 3 different animals here. I mean, legitimately different animals. Even on the head markings. I mean, these 2 head markings are a little similar, but even this one, like that fleur-de-lis kind of just spreads out a little bit. And then the cross across the back of the nape. But dude, this Mandarin rat-looking Russell's Vipery, awesome. Absolutely awesome. Legitimate tub full of sunshine.
Yep. You go blind if you stare at them too long.
Yeah, Martin has, like, all of his animals are trophy animals. It's insane.
Dude, that's crazy. So now, what exactly is in that animal?
Snake.
I'm just going to guess here, and I think those are gamma ocelots.
Okay.
So the ocelot gene came from Mike Curtin, I believe. I think he took that project and ran with it.
Right.
So I'm actually trying to find some of his stuff right now, but he's been line breeding it long enough to where he has low expression, high expression. And some of the high expression stuff starts to look like the real crazy stuff Don Patterson, I think, last year produced.
But now, forgive me. So, Gamma's obviously straight jungle. And then Ocelot is coastal?
Gamma is... Those are jags. Those are jungle jags.
Those are jungle jags. Okay.
Yeah. So that's a whole story there. They came from a guy in Canada. It might have been Don. And then Battaglia got a hold of him and named him Gamma, and the rest is history.
There's a whole article about it as the Morelia Spotlight in one of the recent issues of the magazine. I don't remember which one.
It was a couple ago.
That makes me feel stupid. Thank you.
Don't pay
So
attention.
I got
I do.
another one coming your way.
Cox said, now cross that with a chondro. Jesus.
Oh, yeah. Look at this thing.
Every day we get further and further away from God.
When's Cox going to produce stuff? He always wants us to make all these hybrids and
Right.
stuff. I want to see him produce something. Calling you out, Cox.
Dude, that is up my alley. Look at that cactus.
I like the head stamp. Looks
All
almost
right,
like a
so
leaf
that's-
with a stem.
That's from Mike Curtin's page, Scattershot Exotics, on Facebook. If you just go through his photos, you'll see all these different ocelot jags. You'll see the normal ocelots that don't have jags in them. Like, his stuff is top notch.
Dude, that's killer, man.
And that's like the ugly phase of that animal.
Yeah, that's the ugly one of the bunch.
Look at the lateral line of the eye. Very chondro-ish. And
Let's
it
not
has
get crazy here.
It almost has like dare I say, like a golden child looking neck to it. Or golden eye, excuse me, not golden child. Golden eye, the blood, not the retake.
I like them, Billy.
Yeah, hogs are cool.
Hog Island is one of the only, for lack of a better word, red tails that I would keep.
There's a female sub on Morph Martyr right now, and it's like the only female I've seen for a hot minute. Damn it.
Justin, how's that Lancero?
Oh, it's gone. It's good.
It was good.
It was good.
Past
Going back to the Hog Island, KJ has one that's like 25 years old.
Really?
The thing is huge. Just being a 25-year-old animal, you're going to be a big animal. And they are freaking awesome.
Nice.
That's another species, man. They were like at one point. It seems like they were a lot like Argentine boas. Like they were very popular. There was a lot of people that were into them, and they had them. And now it's like you just don't see them really anymore. At least like the real pure like legitimate stuff, I guess.
Well, I think people started getting snobbish about like knowing where they came from and all that. Are they pure? Are they crosses?
Yeah,
all that kind of stuff.
Guys like you.
Not like me.
There's a guy with a local shop. He has Argentines. Badass.
That's probably one of the few boas I would 100. I've actively been looking for them, if I'm completely honest.
I love the high pink ones, like those. I don't know exactly which line they were, or whatever. I don't know, but they had these very pinkish colors to them.
Yeah, those ones are super cool. I see pictures. We can't get them up here. The longicauda is really cool too.
I just want straight classic black and white Argentines. If I could find those, I'd be happy as could be.
If I were to get other boas, it'd probably be longicaudas.
I like the aneries a lot.
Where it's at.
I miss my Nicaraguans and my Tarrahumaras.
Dude, we were just talking about it with Casey, man. Longicauda, man. All the way.
Yeah.
They have a stripe on their head. I'm in.
Hmm?
I remember seeing aneries for $150 like 10 years ago, and I'm like, I'll wait till next year. I just kept saying that. Now, you can't find them.
Yeah. Not
There's Patterson ones now. There's patternless ones now. The zero longicaudas. They're in the States now.
I think I've seen pictures of those a while ago.
Yeah, they're cool. It's cool to see a completely patternless boa.
Those womas that they were talking about on Carpets and Coffee this morning that they were showing off, man. I've thought about womas before, but kind of didn't want to deal with the whole, I'm going to eat you and you're not going to know about it until I'm doing it kind of thing. Just kind of turned me off.
Right.
It's like I don't want to have to, completely, with the chondros and some of the other stuff that's nasty and let me know it. That's one thing. But the snake that's, cute and cuddly for 30 seconds and then it's oh, I'm going to nose you and then I'm going to wrap you and I'm not going to let go like that. I don't know. I get Vietnam flashbacks to the Brooks King I had as a kid.
I was about to say, it's just a big king snake.
I freaking hate Brooks Kings now because of that damn snake. I've never trusted one since.
Dude, and I've never been bit by a Brooks King, whether it be captive or wild or anything.
God.
Now, I've taken a lot of twin snake bites, but not from Brooks. Now, what I do miss is the Apalachicolas, and I want to get another pair of babies and watch them transition. You know what I mean? That could be fun. What is Brandon getting?
Yeah, are we doing show and tell? Are we at that point in the show?
Excuse me while I whip this out. Jeff says his male olive will 100% always bite. Look at Brandon's hands in the air.
I got pissed off hatchling Madagascar giants. Don't bite me, asshole. I call these shit helicopters because they'll just fling their tail and poop everywhere and bite you.
Oh my god. Look at that little booger.
That's gorgeous, man.
That's super pretty.
Yeah, they're super cool. These ones have a lot more coloration early on than my ones last year. They were pretty dark. So
I love how once you got him in your hand, he's like, "Oh, you got me. I'll stop fighting now.
yeah,
Fun's over.
One's over."
see, they're loading up.
Oh yeah, look at that.
What I'm interested in with those is how, I mean, if they're at all, related to the heterodon we have here in the States, and how
They're
far
not.
removed they are. They're not. Yeah.
They're not related at all. They're just called hognoses because of their face.
Because they have the hog nose. Yeah.
They use it primarily to dig in sand to
Mhm.
find Aquarius eggs. Yeah, they're super cool. They usually have this pink neck for a while when they're young. It's hard to see, but they have a pink neck all the way coming down, probably to about there, and that stays until they're pretty much adults, and then it kind of clears up on most of them.
Yeah, I think they're as close to our hognose as they are to Orthodedium. Yeah.
Yeah, they're super cool.
It's
Definitely
awesome
not.
you're working with them.
Yeah, not many people are. I know maybe 5 people in the States that produced them this year. So.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe I was the only person in Canada this year to breed the giants. So
Right on.
Cool.
It's so cool to see the hobby going down that route of trying to figure out lesser known species and harder to keep species.
yeah,
I think it's only going to get better, man. I really think we're seeing a transition where people are kind of wanting to explore more than just the things that we've all come to know and have already figured out.
I think it also has to do with the people are realizing that you can also have a particular type of husbandry and it be aesthetically pleasing, and therefore it's almost a second aspect to the hobby in itself. I think that is appealing as well. I mean, we've talked about that countless times. Racks or cages. That's not even what I'm talking about. Trying to formulate my words. Excuse me. The aesthetics of the enclosure have allowed people to say, okay, I don't need to necessarily have a species that I play with. I can have that species that is reclusive and happy in its enclosure and still have the aesthetics.
Yeah.
It's half of my collection.
There you go.
That sucks.
That is a nasty bite.
Yeah. Bill
Yeah.
said, unrelated to all these snake nerd bites, but my wife took a shot from the female Argus tonight. Bled nicely. So,
Oof.
for those of you not watching live but are listening to the audio version,
How big of an Argus? Jeez.
I don't think it really matters.
No, it doesn't.
Suck at any size.
Yeah, just suck at any size.
Look
Damn.
at that.
Look at that. That is a beautiful snake.
yeah. This is my male giant. He's produced all my clutches so far.
It's so
Belly.
big.
The pattern on that thing is incredible.
Yeah, the coloration is really incredible too, and I find it's very variable. So I'm not sure if there's locales on the island of the giants because they cover everything but the southwest corner of Madagascar. So I talked to some herpetologists, and they were like, "We think there are, but there's nothing to back up that claim." So, and my males are twice the size of my females. Like during cooling last year, my male is 1,800 grams and my female is 800 grams.
Wow.
So it's a big difference.
Yeah, that's crazy.
There's no cannibalisticness to be
Nope.
had. Wow.
Nope, I house them communally year round, which is usually a big no-no for most snakes, but
Right.
Now, like I said, Riley said that he actually thinks they do better when they're cohabbed. Like they
yeah, I think
eat
so too.
better. They overall just do better when they have another one in there. It's interesting.
Yeah,
And they don't eat snakes at all in the wild, even other species?
not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
So they eat everything else though.
Yeah, dude, that belly is just crazy.
Yeah, I like the gold coloration on them, and some of them it's more pronounced. I have a buddy who has a captive bred from Chris Stinson, and it's like pretty much orange from the head down. I've been trying to buy that one from him for the last couple of years. He doesn't want to sell it to me yet.
Awesome.
It's gonna stay on him, man.
You guys
Yeah.
want to see Baby Boyga?
Always.
Yeah.
Before
Only
you
if you free handle.
I was saying, before you put that thing away, is there I don't want to say sexual dimorphism between the male and the female, but like, is it a more pronounced tail or like a broader tail, or are they pretty much uniform in their physiology?
It's kind of uniform, but I do notice some facial features that are different. So I notice some of them have more wider faces and some have narrower snouts.
Is that something that you can see on a neonate or no?
Yeah, I've noticed that on hatchlings more than I have on adults. So I'm not sure if that's something that changes over time, but it's something that I'm trying to keep track of and find if that's has consistencies. So.
Very cool. Have you like taken calipers to like the broad section of the head or no?
No, not yet.
Okay.
That's a good idea. I didn't even think that.
Yeah, like I mean that if I would never think to do that, but if you noticed it, like that's something I would be like, well, crap, man, I'm seeing it. The heads are different. Let me, you know.
Yeah, I noticed like some of the facial scales will be a little bit different too, and then the snouts will be wider, and so.
Trying to do this quiet.
And sometimes I notice that the snouts are shorter too on some of the hatchlings, so I'm not sure if that's just a genetic thing or what's going on.
Do the I know like some of the other species that have like I don't want to say subterranean or like more fossorial stuff, like the rostral scales are pretty much almost adult size as they mature. Do you notice like any facial scalation increase in size because of maturity? Or?
Not that I've noticed yet. Everything's pretty much the same, it seems. So they don't. This is my female shoes.
Yeah, I can see that butt's wide open. Yeah, look at her too, man. So much darker.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
Yeah, there's a lot of color variation, and I like that about them. So. The pattern kind of stays the same, but the colors change. The bellies are different too. I noticed some of them are slightly different hues to them.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Is she got a meal in her, or is she just up because you're playing with her?
She's just. I fed her like 2 weeks ago, so.
Oh, okay.
I feed them kind of every 2 weeks ish, kind of when I remember. I'll be feeding them probably this week, coming up their last meals, and then I'll be cooling them in January.
Nice. Oh, baby boyga. Look at that little bug-eyed alien.
That's awesome, man.
It's stupid cute. Yeah, Brandon, make sure you still have your correct number of animals in that cage. Oh,
Love those hooks.
That. The neonate hook from Specialty Enclosure Designs.
Those things work great on the hatchling Facilinotus.
Dude, they're awesome. And this is like the slightly longer model. So it's like
Yeah, I realized how awesome that hook was when I had some small Burma stuff, and I took some really, really great pictures, and Brahms informed me that that is not the designation for that hook, and I should not be posting those pictures.
Action shot.
Look at that.
We are very. I'm not even doing anything. We're very fired up.
Does it just see our heads, and is that what it is?
Yeah, I think it sees a reflection of the camera.
Oh, okay.
Dude, throw a mouse tail in front of it. See what happens.
Yeah, right.
I got a male speckled that's a wild caught, and I think he might possibly be hypo because he looks totally different than my other ones.
Really?
Yeah. Just pull him up.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I can't say I've
Prove it.
Any of the Malagasys.
See, going back to the cohaven thing.
Yeah.
That's the advice I've been given for the Tyus. Is to just cohab them, and I should get multiple clutches per year. But I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous to put them together.
Henry, who's supposed to check their messenger?
Says Justin.
Oh, there it is. Wow, look at that belly.
So in these guys, the females are bigger than the males, unlike the giants. So this is the wild caught female. She's pretty uniformly
pretty.
brown. Yeah, they're super cool. Pattern's just insane.
And like I love how like stiff they are in the front, just like watching everything that's going on. You know, they almost have that Agurnia look to them. They have like that Agurnia head.
And these guys hood up too, like the giants, but it's not nearly as wide.
Is it more long along the neck or no?
No, it's very short and stout. Right behind the head, yeah. And this is that possibly hypo male. So you can see the color differentiation.
Oh yeah.
He's so much lighter. Just,
very light.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm interested to see what happens with him if he produces for me. So
when you first pulled them out, they looked very uniform, but now that you're holding them like the way you are right now, with I guess it's the lighting in the room or whatever, you can clearly see the color difference.
Oh yeah. Super
light.
Yeah, they're super cool, and I noticed they have different snout shapes to them too. Like the female, it's hard to see there, but she has a kind of a more higher ridge on her snout, and then he doesn't have that high ridge on his snout,
way more blunt.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I noticed all these slight differences in facial features and stuff.
So Randy wanted to know what perch this was. This is one of the fishbone perches from Brahms. One of the newer models.
Justin, that perch, can you do it upside down as well as right side up? Or no?
Not really.
Okay.
Look, Phil, here's your boy.
There he is.
He ate today. That's why there's a big old blood stain on the pad there.
Nice. It looks good.
Ma.
Yeah, Billy. Follow the trend and pull something out.
What do you guys want? I've pulled out everything cool on the show before.
Bird snakes, because I want those.
Yeah, you really should pull out the birds.
All right, I'll do the baby one because she's easier to get to. So the lights are off.
I want to import some of those eventually.
And dude, Brandon, man, like his birds are so different. And even though they're all the same style, each one is so different, man.
I know. I've been talking to Jason Hood and Palm Beach Color Grids about them, and just getting as much information and seeing how much it's going to cost me to import at least a pair, maybe two. And it's not going to be cheap because our maple syrup dollars aren't worth as much as your bald eagles. So
maple syrup tastes so much better though. What's it at right now? It's like $1.60.
I think it's a little bit better now. I think it's like $1.35.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't really too bad, but
cool. Yeah, man, those birds are just super dynamic. Oh, look at it. Look at them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How big do they get as adults?
5 to 6.
That's not overly terrible.
No, she's got a lot of red on her right now.
Yeah.
But what's cool about them is that they go from this color, so they mimic the brown phase of the eyelash vipers, and then when they get a little bigger, they turn like brown, like a branch, and then like 6 months later, they'll turn into their adult colors, whatever they'll end up being.
That's super cool.
So from what Jason was telling me, they're one of the most variable snakes in the world. So you really don't know what they're going to turn out to be until they're adults. Even if you have the parents, it doesn't really tell you what they'll be.
Awesome, man.
That's kind of
the
what
other
piques
cool
my
thing
interest
is
in them.
the other cool thing is that as adults, the males, when they're mature, will have keeled scales on their backs, and the females won't. So you can sex them just by looking at them.
Really?
That's cool.
And is it just like the dorsal like spine or no?
I want to say it's like a row or two on either side of the spine.
Oh wow.
That's really cool.
I know the lighting's not great, but
Oh, still,
there's a
man,
lot
you
more
can see
people.
the hues.
Yeah, there's a lot more people working with them and having success with them. So
Yeah, and they're not super expensive either.
no, they're not bad at all. They're cool, and I mean, you're seeing how chill she is. She's not being crazy. She's not posturing or anything. She's just chilling.
Yeah. It's funny, man. You know, when I go over to Billy's house, he lets me feed them, and dude, watching them eat is like, I can't even describe it. You basically, they don't want to be fed, and then finally they get a taste of it, and they just go ham on it like savage. It's crazy.
That sounds like something I need in my collection.
It is, man. And like, you know, Billy has the really cool feeding cart that he uses with all the supplies and everything on it. So he'll put the shoebox on the cart, you know, or the drawer or the tub or whatever on the cart, and then go to tweezer feed, and the thing will be like hanging off the side of the cart by like the tip of its tail, just swallowing the prey item vertical like an emerald. It's amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot of theatrics involved.
Oh yeah, that's a great word for it, theatrics.
Their head structure just looks so cool too.
Ooh,
And like that's
Yeah.
relaxed, you know. Do those
Yeah, so when they get upset or they get defensive, they'll flatten their head out, and it's, you want to say maybe it's double what it is right now, Phil? Be comfortable saying that?
Yeah, I would say double. I would say no. You know what? I would say it almost is. I don't want to say like an F-14 fighter jet when the wings open up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like the length of the head almost appears to be more blunt because the jaws have extended outwards. The mandibles have kind of kicked out the sides.
Yeah, right where it connects to the neck, it bows out and they just completely flatten out. It's really cool.
It's
That is really cool.
dude, they have like the best eyes. They have like boom slang eyes, man.
Of course, she doesn't want to cooperate.
Oh, look at that little spunky guy.
Is that good enough for you, Billy? Call me out. I'll put her up. She's being good.
Justin, what's in your hand? Did you get bit?
No, it was one of the Mexican birds.
No. On the top of your hand. What is that?
Oh, that was from a cat.
Oh.
From Hector.
Savage little kitten.
Yeah, he's a little bugger. There's some yellow starting to creep in on this one. Starting to change.
Nice.
Sweet.
Nice shirt, Billy, by the way. A nice hoodie, Justin, too. I didn't realize you were wearing it. Billy, you gonna pull out the Spilotes? For those of you wondering, I am outside, and it is chilly, and my neighbors are outside, so I will not be pulling out anything.
I pull out a sub up, but he just needs. Don't mind the regurge.
This is my 2019 wild caught Madagascar hognose. All my other ones are 2015s and 17s.
Did you say that 2019?
Yeah.
Dude, that thing is huge.
Yikes.
That's awesome.
And you might be able to see it better, but the pink on his neck. Cooperate.
Do they hatch out at like 200 grams?
No. They're pretty close to 80, some of them.
Really?
Wow.
Like they're 12 inches when they hatch out. They're big. My buddy, he breeds Lomas and the hawk noses, and he said they were bigger than his Lomas when they hatched out.
Wow.
So they're pretty big snakes.
That's nuts.
Yeah, this guy's super cool. He's got some really nice gold coloration to him. The lighting's not the best, but
Very cool. I love it has like almost 2 rows of geometric rectangles.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're super cool. And they do this weird thing. All my giants is they get really bubbly around here. And I asked a herpetologist what that might be, and he thinks it's gas.
Really?
Yeah, so they get all these like bubbles around it, and I was like, "What's going on?" Because I noticed it over time in all of them, and yeah, he thinks it's gas buildup, and then they fart.
I was literally just about to ask you, like, have you witnessed it pass gas, like when you're handling them or whatever?
Yeah, they farted on me a few times, and it smells
That's
terrible.
pretty interesting. Like, I mean, I'm sure I've seen specimens in my collection, like I don't want to say cloaca flex, you know what I mean? But like, I can't say that I've ever witnessed them actually pass gas. That's very interesting. Justin, is that king? What is that?
That's one of the Texas bears.
Oh, okay, dude, look how light that is.
Yeah, I know. That's why I picked out the 2 that I have from Daytona. Well, I have the Mexican pair and I have the Texas pair. This Texas pair is really interesting because the pattern is like super reduced. So, interested to see what comes of it.
Damn, Billy, look at that khaki snake.
Yeah. Jeff gets what he requests, right?
Yeah. Gotta keep Jeff happy. God bless him. Dude, I love that. Look at the yellow in his neck. Ugh. I'll be honest, I wish it wasn't cold out right now. Otherwise, I would pull stuff out.
Like, look at all those freckles, man.
Oh, yeah, dude. Dude, it looks like ATAX camo. Like, what is the ATACS? Yeah, ATAX. Like that ATAX military digital camo.
Yeah. And what's crazy, Phil, you've seen all mine, is like all of my animals are quote unquote Timor animals.
Right.
And the variability between them all is surprisingly, like, none of them look the same.
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, they all look like Macs, but they are all, each individual specimen is completely different. And I'll tell you this, of all the Macs that I've seen over the years, Billies are the only ones that I would feel comfortable just like picking up. Because, like, dude, I've had some really bad Macs over the years in terms of defensiveness.
Just
for you, Jeff. Yeah,
my co-host, Kiana has one, and it's mean. It's great. I love it. She's like, "Do you want to pick it up?" I'm like, "Yeah."
I have 6 of them, and they seem to, once they hit a certain size, they just get this confidence to them, kind of like carpets do. And I also don't handle like an asshole either. You know, I think that has a lot to do with it. Because some people just kind of, whenever they handle animals, they're pretty rough, and they, like boa guys and ball guys, nothing against them, but if you watch them handle sometimes at shows, you're like, good Lord. You know, what are you doing to the poor animal?
Yeah.
So I've had luck with that. I have F1. I have an F1. I have long-term captive bred ones. They're all pretty chill. Thankfully. Yeah. Now that I say that.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for my giant projects in the future because now I got 3 males for all my 3 adult females, so I can have all separate bloodlines. So.
That's awesome, man. That's really cool that you're working that project so good.
Yeah, I want to keep everything as separate as possible. Like I only held 1 holdback from each clutch, so I don't want to keep too many back and breed siblings to siblings and parents to siblings and stuff like that. So I want to try to keep it as separate as possible, just for the longevity of the species.
Have you done any or talked about doing any baby swapping with some of the other guys that are hopefully producing them and up by you?
I have bought a baby from my buddy who's produced some, and he doesn't have any more. He sold his adult pair and he's kept his F1s and he's raising them up so that he can do F2s. So I'll probably buy a pair off of him, off of those eventually.
Cool.
There's some people out in Ontario, like one guy that I'm buying the speckleds from. So he's got some giants, so I might sell him some hatchlings and we might just swap back and forth. So just keep the bloodlines as wide open as possible.
Yeah.
Very few people.
It is still good that you are getting some import stuff. So if you ever had to just throw something in there,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm getting more speckleds hopefully in the new year when they should be coming. So
how many hogs you got in total? Ballpark.
15.
Nice. Oh, that's a good number, man.
Yeah. 5 of those is my hatchlings right now, I think. Yeah.
It is funny how we oftentimes don't count the hatchlings.
Yeah.
Especially stuff that we intend to, let go or whatever. So I always wonder.
Yeah, 17.
Nice.
Because I got 2, one that I produced last year, and then one that I bought from my buddy Brian, and they're in the vision rack behind me. So
cool, man.
They're due for an upgrade from the V35s here shortly, so they'll be getting into the V70s.
Nice. Billy boy.
Yeah, shit. Can't get a good. I don't trust this guy.
Little quick hack for people too. PVC caps, the cheapest hide ever. Super easy to cut. This is like a 3-inch cap, 4-inch cap, 2-inch cap. So you ever want cheap hides that are super easy to clean, not aesthetically pleasing, but
I buy the 3-inch caps for my cups, so that I fill them full of water, so they don't knock them over. I just glue them down to the bottom of the tub, or double-sided tape.
Nice. I recently just bought a bunch of, I don't know who makes them. I want to say they're either knockoffs of Reptile Basics or they are Reptile Basics. But they're the black plastic hides they're not the tiny, tiny little ones, but they're probably like 4-inch by 2.5 inch.
Yeah.
And they're super dense. Like you could throw it across the room and it won't crack. I just got like 6 of those because that's all the shop had. And I was like, I'll take them all. And those things ran me like $9 each, but it was so worth it because I break those things left and right.
Mike's asking if anybody took a hit on live yet. I could take out my female blonde, and I'm 90% sure she'll bite me.
He said get problem child out. Hell no.
Damn, Billy.
Every time I took that wild caught blonde out, and I've been on live, she's bit me. So my
Yes,
co-host
Scott.
flips.
I gnawed through it with my teeth.
It does look like you took a bite out of it.
Well, I cut it with
Thomas-
my Dremel saw thing. That isn't very it's a big blade, so I was kind of limited on my precision. Doesn't matter. Gets the job done. It's just a hide.
Scott says hatchlings are counted by people who want to sound like they have heaps. I guess that is true to a certain degree.
Yeah.
But you know what, though? It's still mouths to feed, man. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It's still a head count when you do the rodent order.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And depending how many you have, it can make a huge
Before it goes off, Thomas, I got 2 females I'm going to try this year with the Maclots. They're actually paired up right now.
and Billy, what is crawling across your screen right now for those of us that are curious?
This is one of the Jack Pondros.
Is that one of the ones from last year?
No, these are 18s.
I was going to say, I don't remember you having any that big.
Well, you know what it is, Justin, is that 2020 is so fucked up that we didn't even realize that it's 2020. I've done that.
Are those the ones that I saw the year before last?
Yeah, these are the only ones I have.
That's nuts. Those things were tiny when I saw them, dude.
Yeah, I've grown them up slow too. The other 18s I have are like double this size, as far as not Jack Pondros, because I kind of treated them like green trees at first, and about a year ago I figured out I can pretty much treat them like carpets, like food wise and stuff. But he's not bad.
Scott says, rodent order, question mark? Mate, $2 for a mouse here, you breed your own, ... I guess you would. I guess you would.
I'm too lazy. I just buy them.
I breed my own, and I love it.
I live in an apartment. I ain't breeding shit.
Yeah,
So
I don't have
I've
enough
seen my
space to do it
operation.
or time.
Make the best damn feeders in South Carolina.
You
They're all
do.
for me.
Faraday King of the South.
They're not king of the
Rodents.
South.
My ASF supplier, he's like, why don't you just take a colony? I'm like, because I'm going to forget about them and they're just going to die off because I forgot to feed them.
Yeah, I don't even know what ASFs go for in South Florida, man. Like, nobody has them down here.
There's lots of people that have them up here. And for the amount of
scrub.
for the amount of hatchlings that I have to feed, like spending $5 a feeding is not going to break the bank.
I don't know. I sleep easier at night because I know what's going in them. I control what's going in them.
Yeah, I'm very picky about the people who I buy from, so I know what's going in them. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, if I need a certain size, like, cool, I got that, you know?
I just imagine that my animals are eating junk in the wild because I just imagine, like, the mouse or the rat that they just ate was feasting on someone's garbage.
The beer can in the background of the perp photo, you know?
Yes, exactly. I actually thought about that. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to put Natty Ice cans in all of my Viper cages, and that way they feel at home.
That's genius.
I think I want to figure out how to get... send it to me, Billy. Oh.
Dude, look at that thing, man. Damn.
And get a good...
Thomas, yeah, if I have enough... I know Jake will need some, but I don't plan on like shipping or anything like that, just because dealing with dry ice and shipping and stuff is apparently a thing. Like,
And yes, Mike, Premier Al's thinks do eat French fries in the Walmart parking lot. And now, Billy, that's just straight Jag to Jaguara.
This is a sibling to the other one. This is the Carpondro, so there's no Jag in this one.
Wow.
But
Dude,
the pairing was a Jaguar carpet to a Sorong female.
okay. So wrong with air quotes.
I mean, I can't say for sure, I mean, just as much as anyone can say for sure.
Right. That was funny. That got me to chuckle too. Now the snake's just watching you.
Yeah, pretty much.
On the laptop, Billy?
Yeah. I figure you guys can get a decent look at the pattern and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Dude, that belly is just intense, bro.
Dude, those things have gotten crazy big, man.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe not next year, but the year after that.
What do you got there, B?
Or
More hog noses. That's
nice.
majority of my collection. This is one that my buddy Ryan produced. So
Checkerboard as hell, man. Look at that.
yeah,
That's great looking.
Yeah, that's nuts.
yeah.
Dude,
And this
dots down the side.
yeah, this one's got some really nice head coloring on it. My camera might have to pick it up, but
And
it's a
dude,
little
the
bit.
color
little bit lighter.
contrasts on the tongues are always awesome.
Yeah, they kind of got like a black tip, and then the rest of it's pink.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're super cool. Hatchlings are like little firecrackers. They just hood up and then just bite everything but food. So, and then they get to be like a year and a half old, and then they chill out.
Now, with your babies, do you just start with like a live fuzzy?
Yeah.
Yeah, just live fuzzy, leave it overnight?
No, I've been having to assist feed them, or else
Oh,
they don't
really?
eat. So yeah, I have to like prop their mouth open with the head of it, and then they're like, "Oh, this is food." So
Mm.
I don't think I found the right food to peak that food response, but
Right.
it seems to be working so
Billy
far.
gonna get bit on the titty. Is that a coastal?
Yeah, coastal exanthe.
Great looking. Look at that line on the side. That's a Billy snake if I ever seen one.
I like how anything with a stripe. For a while there, Justin and Jake, every snake they saw for sale or carpet with any type of striping they sent me.
Jeff says he loves this show because of the show and tell, which I agree wholeheartedly. You know, I think that's one of the best perks of doing the show live and doing it on camera is that we can have show and tell and, you know, talk about the different nuances and whatnot. I love it.
Yeah, and seeing what everybody else keeps.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we can't do alcohol and aquatics anymore. Boss man shut that down.
It's true. It's true.
Ernie S2 has green trees going this year, and I do hopefully.
You know who doesn't have green trees going this year? This guy.
I have a pair together right now.
We gonna trade babies?
We can.
Actually, the more I play with that jag that I got from Billy and attempt to not get bit, the more I think about how I won't be that guy and I won't get a chondro just to breed it to the jag. But I feel like by the time that thing is old enough to breed, I kind of was thinking of doing like crazy high contrast jungle or ocelot.
Yeah, why not?
I think that would be super cool. And it wouldn't piss off all of my friends.
Damn it, Mike! You just jinxed it. Since CenturyLink has been too
Oh,
reliable as of
Mike,
late,
why
like
would
now,
you do that? Bro, you just put the malope on us.
We just started pulling stuff out. Look at that gorgeous hognose Brand's got.
Yeah, this is one that I produced last year.
Dude, so dark. Look at that.
Yeah, this one's a lot darker. And it doesn't have the red neck like some of them, so I'm not sure why
it's 'cause it's not American.
That was funny. That was good.
That was. Yeah, they're very interesting with the difference and variations in the face structure and the coloration on the neck, and so many different colors too, and how much yellow and gold kind of pops out of them. So,
Nice.
Those are neat. Giant hognose king of the north.
So true.
yeah, I think
The
I
only
have
thing-
some of the most collection of hognoses that I know of, anyway. So
The only thing you're missing is bear tracks, man.
I don't think those are legal
How?
because we got really strict laws.
Really? Can't even keep a Texas rat snake?
I'd have to double check, but yeah, we can't keep a lot of them, a lot of stuff.
Man, like this year I'm only going to have a pair going, but next year it's on with bears. Like not this upcoming year, but the year after that. Oh, Java. Put your finger in front of it, dude.
No,
Come on.
we're supposed to be friends.
I want to see what happens.
Oh, look at that amphib. I think is that the first amphibian that's ever been on the show?
Yeah.
I think it is.
It looks like he has a cigar in his mouth when he's eating the pellets.
Nice.
Stomachs with legs.
I kind of wish with the hognoses that we could get reptilinks and all those kind of scenting things up here, but we can't.
I haven't tried them yet. They're so expensive, man. It's like those are kind of a last resort thing for me.
I will always have the scenting products from them because they help get some of those Jack Bonders going.
Thomas said he'll buy half my beards. Look at that, my man.
That's such a cool Jag, man.
Dude, I'm so happy with the snake. Like, for realsies. Like just the tan on tan, like khaki on beige, and just love it. I love how the marking's broken a little right there.
Yeah, I love his color, man. I know everybody likes the super bright Jags, but I really like his color.
Yeah, like if he stayed like this forever, I would be smitten.
He won't.
Thanks, you chinks.
Jerk.
To Bill's comment, strict laws in general or strict laws in relation to U.S. stuff. It's strict laws in general, so like we can't have large monitors, large snakes, crocodilians of any sort.
That's right, because they'll all survive up there. In the winter.
We can't have a lot of rear fang stuff. Can't have any venomous at all. And so we have an act called the Alberta Wildlife Regulation Act, and it covers a lot of stuff. It goes by family and genus. So it's very specific. And then there's a bunch of towns that are deciding we're going to put laws in place. So one town north of here, they decided to ban all boas and pythons.
That's what happened to Chris. Where he lives.
Yeah.
So and they passed it within 28 days. So it was a really fast change versus how some of the other stuff has been going on where it takes a little bit longer. So with the Herp Society, we're looking into getting a lawyer and see if we can change it.
Good for you guys.
Do you guys have like a U.S. ARC? Or I guess it would be a CA ARC, but like
we had Can Herp, but they kind of like took a bunch of money and then disappeared.
No.
So there's only 3 nonprofit herp societies in Canada that I'm aware of right now. So I am vice president of the one here in one of the 2 here in Alberta. So we're doing what we can.
That's all you can do, man.
We've been in contact with a lot of these municipalities, and a lot of them aren't even aware that the Alberta government has this regulation in place. So it's very interesting that all these people make all these laws in our province, and they don't know that the government already has stuff in place. And to answer Bill's next question, and that's just for my province. Every province has their own legislation. BC has a Controlled Alien Species Act, and Saskatchewan has an act where you can't have boas or pythons, but you can have an alligator. Manitoba is just like free range unless it's controlled by municipalities. Ontario is the same way. It's no provincial laws. It's just municipal. But that's changing with Bill 136, which I have been in contact with some of the people who've been dealing with that too. So it's very vague right now, so they can do whatever. I've heard that they've been getting businesses to get rid of racks in order for caging.
You're kidding.
I'm not kidding. That's what I've heard, and it seems like it's happening more and more often.
Nuts, man.
It sucks.
Yeah, it's a lot of uneducated people making laws and stuff that they're just going off by all these animal rights activist people because they have money and they're organized, and that's kind of what a problem I see is with the hobbies. We're always at each other's throats, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Sounds like Florida.
Yeah, right? Sounds just like Florida.
Yeah, when we should be banding together and being organized and prepared for stuff like this.
You ain't lying. Bill, I only have that one Pac-Man, just the ornate. I wouldn't mind a pixie.
There's some weird laws in Newfoundland where you can't own a king snake, but you can have a baboon.
Sounds about right.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
That makes no sense at all.
No.
Billy, that's one of yours from this year?
No, this is one of the ones from Casey.
Oh, okay.
The red line.
Oh, look at that. It is. Dude, that's how crazy that stripe is. I thought it was one of yours.
Oh, man. I really dig, if I could show it, like this melting pattern.
That's really cool.
Mochaccino.
Dude, it looks like an estuary from like a bird's eye view from like a helicopter or something.
Yeah, and then like the stripe is, the stripe's almost perfect.
That's awesome.
And they're possible het stonewash, so I don't know if that has anything to do with the pattern or not.
Dude, I think it's going to look so good in like another year or two.
Shit, they look good now.
I mean, yeah, they look good now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyways, I got to get out of here before the wife kills
Yeah,
me.
it's getting to be that time. So
Yeah.
Well, we're glad you joined in, man. We love that.
Thanks for having me
Yeah,
on.
for sure.
It's always nice to have friends across the border, I guess we'll call it.
Yeah, north
across
of the border.
the tree line.
Across the tree line.
The tree line or the snow wall, whatever you want to call it.
The snow fence.
Yeah, the snow fence.
The snow fence. But yeah, man, I'm glad you got on. I'm glad you got on, man. It's good shit. I think this is the first time you and I have been face to face, and it's cool, man. I like it.
Yeah, I think it is. That's a great idea, Bill. I should probably give them a call and see if they got any tips and stuff for us. Because I've been kind of spearheading the whole legislation for bylaws kind of on my own. I was the first one to take it on, start making phone calls and finding out the information from the towns and stuff specifically instead of just people spewing off random stuff that they weren't 100% sure on. So,
yeah.
Somebody's got to do it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keeps me busy with the society, my podcast that we do, everything else in between.
Yeah, where if people want to check that out, where can they find it?
You can find us on any podcasting platform. Just look up Canadian Herpetoculture Podcast. We're doing bi-weekly episodes, so our next one comes out this weekend, which is with Travis Wyman.
Oh, sweet.
Nice.
The man.
Yeah, so
Dr. T.
yeah, we're pretty pumped about that one. We went over genetics and stuff like that, and some oddball color breeds, and all that kind of cool stuff. So it's a great episode. I learned a lot that I didn't know before, because with my hog noses, I didn't really get to behind the genetics types of things.
That happens every time you talk to Travis.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's dangerous.
Doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, and we do live streams too on YouTube and our Facebook. So, and we got a Facebook group too. It's called Only Hemifiends. So people can join that. We're thinking about getting stickers made up.
I'm getting ready that tonight. I'm sliding those DMs, baby.
And then we also got some stickers that we got samples of. So
awesome.
Because our slogan is "Grab Life by the Hemifiends."
That's fantastic.
So,
Brandon, we need to talk again, and I got to get you some stuff.
That's right. We were talking about stickers a little while ago.
Yeah.
I got to get more printed off of these ones. So one of these days when I get around to it. So Yeah, find us on your favorite podcasting platform. Check us out on YouTube. Join Only Hemipeens.
I'm doing that tonight. Legit.
The banner is great because it looks like OnlyFans.
That's awesome.
It took me a little while to decide it, but it's hilarious. Because me and Canada were joking about it that we're going to start an OnlyFans page, but it's only going to be Only Hemipeens, a bunch of snake dicks.
Whatever sells.
That's right.
Someone will be very confused when they open that up. They're like, this is not what I ordered.
Right?
It would be hilarious to have, though.
Look at the size of that one.
Why is there two of them? I don't get this.
Well, I guess Billy just couldn't stand to say goodbye. So.
No, his internet conked out. He froze out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, everyone needs to go and follow Puget Sound Pythons, Jeff and Kendra.
PSP.
Two awesome people.
The best.
Thomas, snakes do not pay for themselves. Oh, look at this. Look who decided to show.
He's back.
I blame Mike. My connection went. After
Yeah, I told you. Mike put the Moloch on us tonight. We know that you're not that guy to do an Irish accent.
No way.
Well, we were just saying goodbye, so
You were saying it. Dude.
you came just in time for us to leave.
I also have another one. You can follow me on Ectotherm Creations, is where I post all my hog noses. I finally decided to create a page. So
Excellent.
I'm on Instagram and Facebook.
Right on.
I post more on Instagram.
Yeah, man.
Instagram's better.
Yeah.
I like Instagram better, yeah.
Yep.
Well, boys,
Alrighty,
this
y'all.
is episode 55.
It
Thanks,
was.
everybody, for listening and watching and enjoying our babble.
That's right.
We'll see y'all later.
Don't forget to grab life by the Hemipeens.
Grab life by the heavy beans. Both of them.
Yeah.
Two-handed.
Oh, God. Double fisted.
Milk it like a cow.
Cross country skiing the Canadian way.
Now we really gotta go.
All right. Goodbye.